is now recording this, and we're live over here. Are we good? Hi, Jerry. Good afternoon, Geraldine. Glad you could make it. Okay, guys, are we all good here? Yes, no? Maybe? Hello, hello. Hi, Carol. Oh, Jerry says we're good. Carol, you okay? Right. We had trouble with YouTube. I'll have to work on that part. It was a private link on purpose so that the public couldn't see it, but for some reason you guys couldn't see it either. So I'm going to have to do some studying up on that. The next live stream will be on YouTube. We'll figure it out. You good, Brenda? You good, Di? All right. Di's good. Brenda, I'm assuming you're good too. There you are. I'm frustrated. I wanted YouTube to work so bad because the video quality is better. But maybe if it's recording, we'll get it anyway. All right. A little late, but we're getting started. Thank you all for coming. I am going to just pretend like I don't know any of you. My grandson just got home. I'm going to pretend I don't know any of you, and I'm going to go the assumption that I am standing here in the live event coming up a week from Saturday, and I'm doing a cooking demo if you didn't know. I think you all know by now. And yeah, welcome. My name is Chuck. I have a website called Brand New Vegan. I've been vegan for about since 2008, and my specialty is comfort food. And today we're making my best damn vegan chili ever. So again, a lot of this, guys, is just for me to see how much time this is going to take. All right. And if you have any suggestions, go ahead and interrupt and pop in. You can hear me okay? Everything looks all right? Hoping to get some feedback while you guys are watching. Okay, good. Thank you, Di. I have everything divided here. These are the ingredients I'm going to be taking with me to the festival. And I have them all pre-measured and pre-sorted out here. Okay? We got Carol, Jerry, Geraldine, Dee, Brenda, and Di. Missing a couple people, I think, that RSVP, but that's okay. So I can't actually cook today. This will be a week from Saturday because the electricity is kind of iffy here in a building. So I'm going to go through the motions of cooking for you guys. I'm going to do the actual cooking. This induction burner would blow a fuse out there in a heartbeat because it pulls a lot of juice. In fact, I really probably shouldn't have it plugged into the strip, but I am. I hope to show you in this demonstration just how easy it is to make something delicious. It's also vegan. Um, these are pre-chopped, pre-diced onions and peppers. I'm going to go ahead and toss them in the pot just to see how many I have. I might need to use 2 of these. We'll see. And you can get these at any grocery store. I'll get with you in a second, Di. Yeah, this is a Kroger brand. It's just 3 onions, or 3 pepper and onion blend. It's a 12 ounce. I think when this cooks down, it's not going to melt too much. So I'm going to go ahead and put in both packages. That's going to be the base for our chili. That looks better. They are in the frozen food section of your store. And I do have a spoon right here. Di, are you going to tell them to hold questions to the end or ask questions during your talk? I'm fine if they want to ask me questions during my talk. I can cook and talk at the same time. Now, when I do my onions and peppers in a pot, I don't use oil. I follow a lot of the vegan doctors that do not recommend oil of any kind. So I just use a little bit of veggie broth. This is a low sodium broth, just enough to coat the bottom. Hopefully I won't need any more than that. I'm going to start this up. So if you guys want to pretend you're the audience and ask me questions while I'm doing this, go ahead. Now these are pre-diced, pre-chopped, so you're going to pay a little bit more compared to if you just buy the onion and buy the peppers and dice them yourself. But if you really want simple, this is the way to go. No cutting board, no knife, nothing necessary. I was never much of a cook growing up. I watched my mom. My mom was a southern gal from Kentucky. Everything was coated in grease or lard. Do you know what type of crowd will be there? No, Jerry, I don't. And how much water or broth to use to replace the oil? I just coat the bottom of the pan. So it's kind of by eye, Di. I don't want these to stick. That's the whole thing. I don't want them to stick. Now I'm just going to cook these on medium. I got it on medium high. I want to get these to start simmering. The onions will turn translucent. Everything will get soft. And these are frozen, so it's going to take a little bit. I wish I knew, Jerry, what kind of crowd I'm going to have. Young, old, I have no idea. They're going to have 60 chairs. That's all I know. Crank this up to high, get it going. As these frozen veggies get soft, they'll release a lot of their own water too. I don't use oil because, one, you don't really need it. Yeah, it will be interesting. One, you don't really need oil to cook veggies like onions and bell peppers. Water, broth, any kind of liquid, beer, wine if you want, any of that will work to help keep the onions from sticking. Oil is just pure fat. So every tablespoon of oil you add to your food, you're adding 120 calories. These are 120 calories you don't really need. It's not an essential oil. Olive oil is not an essential oil. Your essential oils are going to be your omega-3s, omega-6s. Those are all polyunsaturated fats. Your olive oil is a monounsaturated fat. So it may taste good, but it just adds a whole bunch of calories. You don't need it. And there's been studies that show that olive oil does some nasty stuff to your veins and your arteries. So in my opinion, it's just best to avoid it, especially when you can. And this is an easy way, using the veggie broth, to avoid it. If you want to continue using oil, you, by all means, you do what you want. As they say, you do you. But I have found you really don't need it. I doing so far? Thank you, Brenda. You would say that. You can see there's a lot of water in here when the veggies defrosted. So who has made my chili before? Do you feel this is way too many peppers and onions? Do you think I should have used this one package? Thank you, Jerry. Do you feel one package would have been enough, or are you okay with two? Hard to tell looking from above. Yeah. You don't like onions and peppers, Jerry? Not even bell peppers? These are not hot at all. I haven't got to the hot stuff yet. Give me a chance. It's over here waiting for me. Oh, it's not too little. It's not too much for you. I got you. I got you. You never have too many peppers and onions and chili. Hey, Kay, welcome to the live stream that was supposed to be on YouTube, and now we're on Mighty. I'm recording this, so hopefully I'll get a better recording than the Mighty recordings are. Now, obviously, this is a vegan chili, so it's going to be meatless. If you have those people in your house, I know everybody has at least one who has to have their meat. The carnivores, the omnivores in your family. You can add meat substitutes to this. Um, One of my favorite things to add is bulgur wheat. You can find that anywhere they sell Bob's Red Mill products. It is a wheat, so if you're gluten intolerant, you want to stay away from this stuff. Or if you have celiac, by all means, stay away from this stuff. Hey, Kathy G. Kay likes chunky chili, but one probably would be enough for Kay. Okay, we'll see what it looks like when we're done. So this is what I use for a meat replacement. Again, you could use any of those Impossible Crumbles if you want. Remember, this is going to a vegan festival, not necessarily a McDougal SE plant-based festival. So, there will be people in the audience, I'm sure, that like the crumbles by Impossible, Beyond, stuff like that. Some people like TVP. I don't personally use it myself. Textured vegetable protein. I like to use the bulgur wheat. You could use soy kernels. Soy kernels are a product made here in Oregon by a company called Butler Foods. They're just simply whole, intact soybeans that have been steamed, cooked, stretched. They push them through an extruder, they call it. I picture one of those things that we used to have when we were kids for Play-Doh. You push the Play-Doh in and push the handle and it comes out weird shapes. That's extruding. And it comes out in these shapes. Just pure soybean. They are GMO. Butler's not an organic company, but they are GMO free. So you could definitely use these for your meat. They're hard. You're going to want to take like half the bag. I like to crumble them up. I use a rolling pin, crush them up like hamburger. And you definitely want to add some water to them and let them sit for like 10-15 minutes so they'll get soft. Then you get added to your chili. If you want to do soy free, you could add mushrooms. Mushrooms would be good in this. If you like jackfruit, jackfruit would be another option for meat. Thank you, Di. Brenda likes to toss hers in dry. You can do that. Now see, we've got a lot of water in this. So I'm going to let this cook down. But since this is a grain, the bulgur wheat here, And this is what it looks like. If I can get the lid off. Come on. There we go. It's a grain, so like any grain, you're going to add it to a pot of water and it's going to puff up. So it might be a good thing to add it to all this water with the frozen veggies. But before we do, I'm going to finish adding my garlic. You always want to wait until your onions and peppers are almost ready before you add your garlic. You don't want to add it too soon. Once garlic burns, you can't undo that. And burnt garlic tastes nasty. Di likes to toss her soy curls into chili dry too, more flavor. Soy curls to me have an odd aftertaste. So I like to soak them in water, drain them, and then squeeze the living daylights out of the soy curls, get all of that water out, and then I add them, and it kind of takes away that bad aftertaste to me. If you like adding them dry though, again, by all means, you do you. I have done it before. It does save time. Now keeping with the easy theme that anybody can do this, you don't have to chop garlic either. They have this wonderful invention called bottled jarred garlic. It's already minced for you. Yes, they do take on the flavor of the chili. Absolutely. So this calls for the recipe and the book here. I do have a book. It'll be for sale after the demo is over. Take cash or card. And the recipe I'm making today is in the book. It's on page 81. It calls for 3 cloves of garlic. So I'm going to start with 2 teaspoons. So that's about 3 cloves to me. Pretty close. Maybe a little bit more. And as soon as you smell the garlic, which won't take long, 15 seconds or so, you'll start to smell it. That's when we want to go ahead and add in the other ingredients. So I'm going to add this bulgur wheat right now, since I still have a lot of liquid in the pan. You'll be amazed what this looks like when we're all done. Now I'm not going to add this at the actual festival because people are going to try it. No, I'm not cooking, but the batch I'm going to take to the festival, I'm not going to add bulgur, just in case anybody in the audience is gluten intolerant. We'll let that cook for a little bit. Okay, put the camera back. I do hope this is recording so we have a good video. It's smelling awfully good in here, and that water is cooking off pretty quickly. So when the water cooks off, and we're almost at a dry pan, I'm going to turn the heat down and continue on with the ingredients. The next thing to go in is our tomatoes. This is a 15-ounce can of fire roasted tomatoes, and it's an 8-ounce can of tomato sauce. The tomato sauce is no salt added, so there's a little bit of salt from the diced tomatoes. I'm going to go ahead and turn this down. I like the fire roasted tomatoes. To me, they have more flavor. I usually add the ones that have green chili. Speaking of green chili, if you want to spice this up, and I like spicy food, I love this Young Guns from New Mexico. This is authentic hatch green chili. So while the peppers are going, I would probably add, I swear I had a measuring cup right here. Where'd it go? I know I brought it in here. Oh, it's in my pocket. I forgot. There we go. It's like I know I brought one. Show us the cans. Okay. So while the peppers are going, I'm going to go ahead and add a half a cup of hatch green chili because that's how I like my chili. You do not have to do this if you don't like spicy. So all the peppers are cooking. These are really good in chili too. I apologize for the steam, guys. I have a fan, it's not working. This brand, La Costeña, their chipotle chilies in adobo do not have oil if you're looking for oil free. So I also like to add this. But you know me, I like spice. Okay. While this is simmering, looking really good. Oh, those chipotles add such a smoky smell, flavor, really good. So my cans of tomatoes I'm using are these. You don't have to buy the Mere Glen. I like this brand. They're organic tomatoes. This is a BPA free can. Any brand of diced tomatoes you want is fine. And then this is El Cheapo Kroger brand, no salt added tomato sauce. You need an 8-ounce can of tomato sauce. You do not have to add the green chili. You do not have to add the chipotle. Now I can add my tomatoes. I don't want this to splatter all over it already is, my brand new tablecloth. So I'm going to turn the heat down. Looking really good. Um, I've heard others say that soy curls have a flavor they don't like if they don't soak and squeeze them before using them. I don't notice any odd flavor unless they're starting to go rancid. Okay, that's why I do it, Di. Yeah, exactly. And are you going to show them adding the green chilies? No, I'm not. I'm only adding it to this because this is my dinner, and I love green chilies in my chili. Put a tea towel under the burner. Yeah, I should have. I got a little spot right here. Hopefully it'll wash out. For those of you that don't know, there is a difference in the spelling of the word chili. Chili is chili, meat, bean, chili con carne, which means chili with meat. Chili with an E is the pepper. So bell peppers are chilies. Bell jalapenos are chilies. poblanos or chilies. This is chili with an E powder, but they call it chili with an I powder because it also has cumin, oregano, stuff like that in it. So now we're going to add our spices. This is my own signature blend of spice for my chili. We're just going to dump all that in. It may seem like a lot. The individual ingredients are in the recipe book. You can also find this recipe on my blog. Feel free to tweak any of the spice ingredients to your liking. I like just this amount. To me, it's perfect. Make sure the chili powder you're using is a generic, like Kroger brand, McCormick brand chili powder. I've had people overseas, I'm not sure what country they were living in, but they had pure chili powder, chili with an E powder. That's hot. If you add that to this chili instead of the chili with an I powder, it would be really, really hot. I have a bag, it's in the freezer, of pure, what they call gochugaru. It's a Korean chili powder, and it's red, and it's hot. I have another bag of pure New Mexico Hatch red chili powder. That's hot. So make sure you get the chili with an I powder, your generic form. So now that we have our spices in here, and I'll get to the questions in a minute, I'm going to go ahead and add my broth. You want 2 cups of low sodium veggie broth. Again, I'm keeping with the low sodium theme here. You can always add more salt at the end if you need it. That's looking really, really good. Smells wonderful. Look at that. And answering questions. Do you sell your spice blend? Where can I buy it? Says a participant. That's a really good thought, Brenda. I should. I don't know how. I know that guy from Lawyer World. He does that. I haven't the foggiest idea how to start. I'd love to sell my own chili blend. Where do you even begin? Do you have to have a license? So off topic for you guys, because I know you. Do I need a food handler's permit? And should I be wearing gloves when I'm doing this a week from Saturday? Yes, Brenda, definitely something to investigate. So now that we got our broth, I'm going to thicken this up by adding some refried beans. We got lots of beans to add now. If you don't add meat, you can make this completely a all bean chili. It's still really good. This is the brand and the style of refried beans that I get. It's no fat. It's also vegetarian, so there's no lard in these. You have to read the label on these refried beans. A lot of them have lard. Lard is not vegan. So this is what I get. You need about a cup. So there's going to be some left over. You can put these in the fridge, save them for your taco night or whatever else. So I'm going to add my cup of beans. I gotta show you this. When we were out shopping the other day for the tablecloth and stuff like that, I ran across this package of two. I don't know if you've seen these or not. They're really kind of cool. This one's kind of soft, this edge, the black edge. The gray is kind of hard, but it's for scraping. It works really good too, especially with a bigger bowl. But two for $5. I had to get some. Since you rent this serving, you should ask the village, town, where the event is. Okay. The president of the organization said since one person already has a food handler's permit, I shouldn't need it. I don't know if that implies that she'll be doing the samples. I have no idea. It's not hard to get a food handler's license, a little permit. I think it's like $5, $10. I may just do it to have one. I've done it before and I never used it and it expired. They're good for like 3 years. Since you're not serving this, you don't need gloves, okay? Use gloves when you do serve the samples. So Kathy G puts in the entire can of refried beans, and that's perfectly fine. You can do that. You can make this chili the way you like it, but it does help thicken up the chili without using flour or any of those other weird ingredients I've seen people use. So now, speaking of beans, I'm going to add in the rest. I have a can of black beans I'm going to add. Again, these are low sodium, but they've been rinsed, so there's no sodium, or very, very little. I rinsed and drained these. I'm going to dump in the whole can. Get out of there. And a can of pinto beans, same, rinsed and drained. They're also low sodium. That's all I buy, the low sodium. We'll stir these in. Now you can see my pot. This is a 6 quart. You can see how full it is, maybe. I got like maybe a couple inches of headspace here, and that's it. I think this will serve 60 people easily. Here's a chunk of refried bean. I'm going to break that up. We started late. It's 25 till, and I'm almost done, so I have to talk more come the festival. The last thing I'm going to add, since so far we've added no salt, my last can of beans are kidney beans. They are low sodium, but I'm putting in the juice and everything right out of the can. That's going to be my salt for this chili. I love kidney beans in chili. I love pinto beans in chili. I could do without the black beans. I don't use them very often. Some of my fondest memories are of me and my dad. He would take me, and you probably only recognize this place if you're from the Midwest. His favorite place to take me to eat was a place called Steak and Shake. Mostly east of the Mississippi. all the restaurant chains. But he would get the chili 5-way, which means it had onions, it had bell peppers, it had spaghetti, it had something cheese on top. It's like a chili deluxe. But going out to have chili with my dad is a really fond memory. Mom would try to make it. Nothing against my mom. I loved her dearly. She could not make chili. It was mostly water and spaghetti with some beans and very few spices. And Dad he just ate it up. I couldn't. Sorry, Mom. Your chicken and dumplings, your biscuits and gravy, your cornbread, yeah, your pinto beans, your soup beans, I can eat that. Your chili, not really. So that's it. All we have to do now is simmer this. I would probably bring it to a boil, which in this big old pot is going to take a little while. Once it comes to a boil, I'll turn the heat down low. I'll put the lid on so I don't lose any moisture. And I'll let it simmer for 15-20 minutes, half an hour. You can judge by the liquid here on top. Now, this is pretty thick, but there's also a lot of soup right here on top. I don't know if you can see that. So if you want thicker chili, leave the lid off and cook it. Evaporate some. If you like it fine just the way it is, you put the lid on so the moisture doesn't evaporate. I have a little taste. Probably hot. Oh, it's good. Geraldine wants to know, since I put all those chilies in, what's she gonna have for dinner? She don't like my chili anyway. She doesn't like the chili powder and the cumin. She does not like these. It's too spicy for her. This is too spicy for her. Also, in my spice mix, it calls for oregano. I use the Mexican oregano. And this is something you can find in the Mexican aisle of your grocery store. If you look where the dried chili pods are hanging, the hatch chili pods, the red ones, the guajillos, all the other ones, arbols, and I forget, pasillas. Usually they have their spices hanging too. It doesn't say Mexican oregano, but it is. You can see how coarse it is. I'm going to sit down and read some of the questions. You should mention that they can replace the bulgur with cooked oat groats. I brought pen and paper. Replace bulgur with oat groats to make it gluten free. Thank you, Carol. They have to be cooked unlike the bulgur. When I made this for work, the other vegan thought I put meat in it and couldn't figure out what I used. Yeah, bulgur will have that same effect too. It's the texture thing. It's just like meat. I'm going to also mention, that's a good idea, Carol. I'm also going to mention if they are gluten free, just to leave the bulgur out completely. Just make a meat chili or a meatless chili, a bean chili. Brenda makes homemade refried because oil free is hard to find. You can talk more about the spices in the blend, take more time. Okay. Might want to tell them all the spices in their signature spice blend are listed in the recipe. Okay. Ah. I'm really thinking about putting a complete list of the ingredients next to my table so people can just browse by and look at it. But the recipe is not going to be on the table. They'll have to buy the book or they'll have to go to my website. My dad was a fireman and they made great chili, I bet. Oh, hi, Lisa. And if they do add the bulgur, it will help absorb the rest of the water. Yes. Di doesn't like cumin either. What's wrong with you guys? Cumin's awesome. You know, Kathy G, the oregano you use doesn't matter. I personally like the Mexican oregano. It is a totally different plant from the Italian oregano. It's not the same thing. Differences are really subtle, but the Mexican oregano to me really adds to the taste, the flavor of Mexican food. And this is like Tex-Mex. This is Southwestern, so um, I'm not sure how that's going to work. Di, am I going to hand out samples now? I don't know how they're going to do it. In the real show, I'm not going to be cooking, so I won't have the induction burner. I'll still have the big red pot, and it'll be full of raw ingredients. The actually cooked chili will be over in the kitchen area, plugged in my Instapot. So somebody will have to bring that over and do the samples, I guess. I don't know how that's going to work. But you know, we made it to about 45 minutes. If this was actual, I would have like 15 minutes for Q&A. Not bad. I'll try to think of more things to talk about. I'll try to drag it on. Do stir frequently. I can feel some of the stuff starting to stick to the bottom of the Dutch oven. It cleans really easy. And by me cooking this on Friday and leaving it in the fridge overnight, when I do serve it on Saturday, all those flavors will have melded together. It's going to be so good. I hope I get some. Hope Brenda Davis is there to try some. It's not every day you get to say you cook for Brenda Davis. Rhonda could get the chili from the kitchen for you and start filling the sample cups while you do the Q&A. That's a good idea. It is better the next day, isn't it, Brenda? Oh. So again, we did about 45, 50 minutes. Not too bad. I have a week and a half, roughly, to practice again. I didn't do much of an introduction for you guys because you know me, but I'll probably do a longer introduction the day of the festival. So what do you do with this chili? That's something I haven't talked about. Again, I want you to try to see how much is here. Um, so my finger is on the top of the rim, right there. So that's how much headspace I have left. It's pretty full. And this is a 6-quart Dutch oven. 4 quarts is a gallon, right? So I'm probably going to have 5 quarts in here, a little over a gallon. There's plenty for leftovers. Um, Store this in your fridge in a tightly sealed container of your choice. It'll keep for 4 or 5 days, and it freezes excellent. Excellent. It freezes very well. That's better. No problem freezing. How's that? Oh, the cornbread. I wish I could make cornbread for everybody. That would be so good. Put the sample cups on a cookie sheet or tray. It will help keep the tablecloth clean. The samples will take 10 to 15 minutes too. That's a good thought, Di. Thank you. I appreciate that. You're right. But what do you do with this? Well, you can eat a bowl of chili for lunch the next day. If you like crackers in your chili, by all means do that. Some people like cheese. Some people like cilantro. And by cheese, I mean the vegan shredded cheese. Some people like the vegan sour cream. I just like a little bit more hot sauce myself. You can serve this over a baked potato. It makes a wonderful lunch. You can serve this over rice. You can cook up a pot of spaghetti and pour this over the spaghetti. I have another recipe for Cincinnati chili that has spaghetti in it. It's very similar. Um, all kinds of things you can do with the chili. You can make my carrot dogs and pour some chili on top. Make it a coney dog. It will not go to waste. And the people who are in your family who are not vegan will thank you, because this is comfort food. This is what I grew up with anyway. So yeah, that wasn't too bad. That's 15 minutes. And like Di said, I'll have to serve too. So anything else, guys? Thank you all for coming. For any of you who have not made it before, are there any of you who have not made it before? Is this the first time for some of you? Did anybody actually cook along with me? Brenda probably has some in her freezer. Kathy G made this a week ago and froze a bunch and made it tonight for guests this weekend. It never goes to waste. Jerry's made it before. Many times for Brenda. Yeah, many times for me. Did you guys learn anything different? That's what I was originally going to ask for anybody that has not made it before. Anything you didn't know? You got lots of options for your meat. The bulgur, the oat groats, the mushrooms, the jackfruit, the soy curls, the Beyond crumbles, or just leave it meat free and make a bean chili. That's really good too. Um, the choice of beans is up to you. Again, I like the pinto. I like the kidney. Um, Definitely add the refried beans because it really does help thicken up the chili. Make sure that's fat free. If you are fat free, if you don't care about that kind of stuff, then add your refried beans. Be careful though if you're vegan, because some of them are made with lard. Read the labels. As far as spicing it up, you can add the green chili like I did. You could add a jalapeno or two, a fresh jalapeno or two. Um, when you dice up your jalapenos, if you take that inner membrane, that white part, if you scoop that out with all those seeds, it won't be as hot. If you do handle jalapenos with your fingers, make sure you wash your hands really well. Use cold water and use dish soap. It helps cut the oil, the capsaicin. If you touch your eye, you'll feel it. Trust me. But jalapenos, serranos, green chili, the chipotles. Speaking of jalapeno, and because this is my dinner, and because Rhonda's not going to eat this, guess what I'm going to add? And you can see how many I add with some juice. And I'll show the jar. It says hot. They're not hot. Now I've got some really good chili here. The jalapenos really make it. Between this and the festival, I'm going to be eating chili for a month, I think. Alright. Gotta have a taste. Where's those happies I just put in here? I just put a whole bunch in. I can't find a single other one. That's going to be hot, hot, hot in heat. It's so good. Alright. Good thing I like chili, yeah. Jerry. That would be my husband adding the jalapenos. Kathy G says, I use labeled vegan refried beans. It's unlikely. I'll use a partial can later. So I just put the whole can in. That's fine. Lisa makes chili every year during Lent for the Friday soup supper. Everyone loves it. Good. Kathy G learned about Mexican oregano. Good. You'll probably get some I don't like. What can I use instead? If you don't have the onions and the bell peppers, you have beans and tomatoes and spice. That's it. The bell peppers and the onions are your vegetables for a chili. I don't know what else you could use. I'm not one of those people that adds weird stuff to chili. It's like a Texas law. You don't put carrots in chili. You don't put cocoa in chili. You don't put celery in chili or zucchini or any other weird stuff. It's chili con carne. It's chili with meat. Only I'm using wheat or soy curls or meat substitute. Corn. I would add corn. Yeah. Brenda always has some frozen. She likes it over air fried potatoes. Yes. Or baked potatoes. Yes. All of that. Yeah, I would add corn to this. Again, Rhonda don't like corn. My daughter either. And when I do, I get the fire roasted corn too. It just a little bit more flavor. Any chance I can to add some flavor to this stuff. It's what makes our food not so boring. Cheese sauce on top. Chili cheese sauce. Oh, yeah. You could make chili Texas nachos with chili and my cheese sauce and jalapenos. Thank you, Kathy. The next cook along will be in October. We'll have to, second Wednesday. We decided that's going to be the first one. We have to figure out what the second one's going to be. Unless Geraldine's okay with Wednesdays now. You let me know, Geraldine or Jude. Dias made this for church potlucks, but with very, very mild spice and the extra hot stuff on the side. Okay. Even if I left the jalapenos and the chipotles and everything, the green chili out of this stuff, and I just made it base recipe, it's not that hot to me at all. Some people say it is. I don't think it is. But you know I have weird, I don't have weird, I have no taste buds left. That's why. Alrighty, Kathy. Thank you for coming. Thank you all for showing up. Thanks for all the comments. I've got a lot of them wrote down. I'm going to clean up my mess. And I'll see you tomorrow morning. And hopefully, I have a recording still going that I can save and get ready for the space. Okay, so on a regular basis, you're not available on Wednesday. Okay, we'll figure out a day for you, Geraldine. Thank you, Jerry. It's always fun. I like doing these. I really do. So yeah, I can't wait for the next one. All right, Brenda. We'll see you all tomorrow morning. Thank y'all. And I'm going to end this and go over and stop my recording. So take care. See ya.